This lesson overviews how to determine who has access to an ACC site. For example, you can give a new employee access to the system or remotely log out inactive users. After completing this lesson, you will be able to add, manage, and remove users. This feature is available in these editions of ACC software. You can manage users in the Users and Groups dialog box. To access the dialog box, click the highlighted button. Then, click the highlighted button to access the Site Setup tab. Access the Users and Group dialog box by clicking here. Once you are in the Users tab, add a user by clicking here. You are prompted to enter new user information. You can decide if you want the user to be active or inactive by checking the highlighted checkbox. If you disable a user, they will be in the system but unable to access the site. You can also limit the amount of time the user can be logged in while the application is idle by selecting this checkbox and then setting the idle time restriction. When the application times out, the user is automatically logged out of this application. Input the user's password and confirm it in the highlighted area. When the passwords match, the displayed icons will appear. The same icon appears here to indicate if the password meets the strength requirements set by your system administrator. The password strength is measured in the highlighted bar. The range displays red as a weak password and green as the strongest. Choose a combination of characters or words that include numbers and capitalized letters to create a unique password that will be difficult to crack. The password strength requirement is set on a group level. Group settings will be covered in depth later in this training. If you wish to change an existing user's password, the dialog box will display like this. Click the highlighted button to change the password. Enter a password that meets the strength requirement and confirm it. You can ensure the user changes the password upon next login by checking this checkbox. Alternatively, you can check this checkbox so that it never expires or expires after a certain amount of days by adjusting this field. In this tab, you can add users to groups. These groups decide the permissions available to the user. You can see the permissions linked to the selected group in the other two columns. To learn more about creating groups, see the Managing Groups module in this course. To add a user to a group, check the checkbox beside each access group you want to add them to. When you click here, the user is added to the server. You may also edit user privileges and access rights in this window. These features will be covered more in depth in upcoming training. In this dialog box, you can also edit and delete users as needed. To adjust user information and settings, select a user and click here to edit. To delete a user, click the highlighted button. When you're finished, click here. To manage user sessions, click the highlighted button. Click here to open the User Connections tab. The User Connections tab lists all users that are currently connected to the site. You can remotely log a user out of the site by selecting the user and then by clicking here. The user is now logged out. To sum up, in this lesson, you learned how to add, manage, and remove users.